Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode 11 of Casual Fun. Here we are doing a battle replay between me and Keon. I believe I was the High Elves in this one, and Keon played as the Dark Elves. So naturally, we know who we want to win this battle. And regardless of what you hear throughout this replay, I followed every rule by the book.
Just high road him a little bit more, Kyle.
No, I refuse.
Well, this is going to be a fun one for at least two people in this call.
Yeah, why do you say that? Why wouldn't it be fun for everybody?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out by watching.
That we will. That we will.
Lokhir Keon, you can't be dragging your attitude during this battle.
That was so good, actually. That was really good. That was really good.
No, we have Berkey.
We're getting the scenic view right now because the armies are taking a while to load into the map.
We have Berkey practicing his drone shots. It's understanding how to fly.
This really is a beautiful map. A really beautiful place.
What is that in the distance? What is? Wow, he panned right. He panned perfectly.
That's the Tower of Hoeth, right?
Yeah, that's.
What you call me?
You know what you are.
You guys do this every time.
I always kind of hate how they make these big structures seem really important. By the time you build them in the game, there's no one there to actually do anything about it.
Kind of on that same note, I've always thought the same about the way you always see dwarven architecture. They're 5 feet tall, but they build these halls that are 400 feet tall, and I've always just wondered why.
Roblox, a lot of Minecraft growing up.
All right,
Legos.
So Keon, what are you trying to do here? What's going on?
I was expecting a real battle between two intricately mastered armies that were going to maneuver around one another. So went for a light armor, fast-moving units to get in and around and punch and pull out with my Dark Elves. A lot of Dark Riders and some repeater crossbows, light on the infantry. And just was hoping to get a good skirmish battle. I wasn't really looking for any kind of very heavy blob fights or anything because I wasn't primed to win those. What about you, Kakins? What did you bring?
So my tactics started with Berkey. Can you actually back this up 20 seconds? Can you
with the deployment?
Yeah,
time can only move forward, Kakin. As a high elf,
we're going back 20 seconds, Keon.
Okay, time evidently can
more like what twin them on the left. Just so I can explain what my tactics were. No, it's important. It's important. So if you see what I'm trying to do on the left here, I thought that structure to the left that they could be used as choke points, but what I found that actually my units just clipped through them. So I couldn't use it. So I finally just moved my units back away from the structure because I realized Keon could just charge his horses through those metal structures.
Figured those were choke points too, to be honest.
Yeah, and my soldiers just clip into them.
They looked semi-permanent, if you ask me.
That's what I thought.
I mean, it'd be really unfair if they were, because you could just make a little turtle shell.
Well, that was exactly my plan. I was like, well, if he doesn't do it on his end, then I guess I'll do it. That's where that unit came from, Keon, in the back? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, when you guys were deploying, I was just like, man, Keon really has them surrounded on this one.
But yeah, so I'm just essentially just trying to space my units. I have a solid mix of some regular spearmen as well as some Lothran Sea Guards, so I wanted to put them in the back, make sure they at least got some shots off. And I knew that I had my superior melee units in the very back row, if they were needed. And I figured, honestly, that Keon might be trying to put some chariots or some cavalry behind me. So I think at some point here I set it up to accommodate for that. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Maybe it was all post seeing how screwed I was by Keon's formation.
I feel like Keon likes the shock factor of his formation. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, it just throws his opponent really off guard.
Yeah, I just think the game is a lot more fun if you bring different things to the battlefield. And the problem with Dark Elves as a roster is they're pretty brittle, right? They got a sharp edge to them, a lot of dangerous units, but they're not one for really big prolonged combat. They don't have any healing or anything. So bringing this sort of mixed bag of cav and infantry units and all that, I think just suits them quite well. Where you're constantly having different types of threats on the battlefield, gives you something to play around with.
Absolutely.
This is about the time where I realized, okay, I have two options, okay? keep pepper spraying you, but these 5 units, these 5 illegal units,
they are not illegal.
Sisters of Avalorn,
did the game allow me?
Unit caps were on, so you can't complain.
Yeah, did the game allow me to build this army?
The game did allow you to build this army.
Okay. Did I technically, although I have too many units of Sisters of Avalorn according to your standards, did I also hinder myself by spending 6,000 gold on these units? Yes. That wizard is just.
Yeah, this is where I realized that I wouldn't really be able to use this one too much, and you kind of blobbed yours up. So I was going to go for 1 pendulum and see if I can get as much value as possible.
To be honest, I can't believe you got the 1 pendulum off.
Yeah.
Like
real whiz kind of move, Keon.
The wizard was under 1,000 credit, and as far as how much damage it does, it probably paid for itself. But at the same time, I think it kind of was a bit of a mistake. But
see, I actually don't know how many of those sisters actually died. Like looking at it, like I know there's a lot of damage, but I don't know how many. Like the blob still looks kind of big. Yep, and then there's the first charge from the rear. Boom.
But this is the problem on entry. The frontline units that I brought were like very low quality, very low tier, no real killing power. And I was expecting some kind of monsters, so I brought mostly. I didn't bring any bleak swords. I brought dread spears, but unfortunately, for just a straight up infantry fight, I didn't have a whole heck of a lot.
I actually, when you first charged me there, that's when I thought I lost the battle.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, and then this one right here too.
Yeah, this is honestly at the part where I was like, this is Keon's battle because he broke the formation, his soldiers got here, he's basically routing Cav's Lord, this is going to be a wrap.
Do we know that's not going well everywhere? Like, that frontline engagement actually is getting broken off. And we can see that, like, all these Cav units that I had are just getting evaporated by these archers. Like, there's really no way for them to get into the infantry fight. And the ones that are breaking, actually, Alarielle gives an aura of immune to psychology around her units. So as long as she's actually just alive in this battlefield, I can't terror out any of these units. So, like, a lot of these engagements I hit really hard, but they just go on a little bit too long. And that's just kind of beginning to spell the doom for a lot of these initially good victories.
Yeah, and I think when you, whatever the ability is that your dragon had there, if I hadn't already thought I had lost the battle, that was also a win, because you took out another unit of my sisters with that. And you dropped on another one. But luckily, I was able to save that left side, and they were able to just fire away just about the entire battle. The left side was relatively untouched, and then from there it was just using Alarielle to just make sure she stayed on the ground, just to not stay in the air too long, but just to help in battle when needed.
Yeah, these sisters have such high AP values, really good rate of fire, really good range and accuracy and all that.
Yeah, because now they're just slowly melting your board.
The problem with Lokhir is he's a really great duelist, but he doesn't have any like big auras or spells he can cast to kind of break up this blob. So in one way, if I get him up and try to run him away, he's just going to get shot in the air, and I have nothing to support my troops. But I kind of have to just force him on this on the ground here to fight, and it is not going well. As you can see, he just ate a face full of arrow.
Yeah, and your Reavers are just not doing as much.
They're very light infantry, but like I said before too, like it just the little bit of a boon from Alarielle just keeps your Sisters of Avalorn for routing, because they're elite units, right? So they have very high leadership, very good combat stats, and there's so many of them that like light Cav just isn't going to do it. I needed to invest in maybe like Cold One Riders or something, but yeah, this engagement, like every one of your units, even the low ones, just not breaking, not routing, fighting to the very end. And so it's almost like an Undead faction where this is attribute of attrition. Like people just fight until the very end there. So very scrappy, very scrappy army.
It's I will say, like in the beginning, it felt like Keon, you really had like him surrounded. You like punctured his box, but the box just didn't break all the way.
Yeah. It's
interesting. I would say it kind of did. I mean, to be honest, I thought even here, I think the battles would have gone in Keon's favor, possibly because he still has his artillery kind of beaten down on me. Well, still having some units, but I didn't realize that all those units in the back, I realized kind of late they were still in it, so I started having them fire, and then once they came back into it, then I kind of realized that, all right, maybe I can win this.
if you had maybe 2 units of sisters and maybe the rest were archers, they definitely would have broken. Just like archers die so fast, like the normal variant. Even Lothern Seaguard, as resilient as they are, they're not too great unless they get like a frontal charge. Like they'll still take a lot of damage from the rear. But sisters are scrappy, and I think you're right. Like a lot of the damage from that pendulum didn't actually kill models; it just did HP damage, which was surprising to me.
Yeah,
But,
it means they can still fire at full strength even though they're not at full health.
Right.
Yeah, because then I dropped the heal on them, and I think that gave them quite a bit back. Because I didn't lose the models,
like,
it was huge.
4 of them are low in the back here, but even just a few of them do a whole heck of a lot.
But also, it's just like the thing with like skirmish, like they run away, and then that just makes it more difficult to really like basically rope them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well played. That was actually a pretty cool battle on the left.
Right.
That was really good. I think it showed off.
Great job.
It showed off a lot of the best part of picking Alarielle is like she's fast. She has these really good auras, and she can just run around healing different units. So like in a long duration battle like this, it's the best Lord choice. I really don't think any of the other high elf lords would have pulled it off there.
Yeah, I think, Ken, if I had gone 2 sisters, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have max upgraded them. So they would have been firing at like the speed of 5. So I wonder how much gold that would have left me with, like what I would have replaced that with.
Yeah.
But...
Well played.
Yep. Thank you. It was well played on your end as well. You should have won, but I got lucky, honestly.
All men die.
Well, and dragon.
Keon, so how much did it hurt getting your first loss on the channel?
Listen, it had to happen sometime.
And to me.
And I'm going to pretend like I have no ego and that I just like a good game for the camera. So it was just a great time. It was good to see you guys improve. That's what I'm going to say.